Go to Matamata now, having had a look at Egmont and some good racing there. Top quality young gallopers with staying features on their radar, probably featured in one of the early features of the day, which was the Matamata Cup. The favourite, well, it was an argument really between Sheriff and Demonetisation. They were probably early on in the race, George, dictated to by their barrier draws, especially Demonetisation out wide.
He drew the extreme outside, so prior to the race, Nigel Tiley mentioned that probably dictated to by that wide barrier draw, but they were hopeful of settling a little bit closer than what most people thought. He had a nice enough run. He ended up just in behind the leading division, 5th or 6th in the run. Metro Anjou got, Petit Anjou, I should say, got a little bit fired up out in front near the leaders, but Admiral took over. Now, have a look at Sheriff. He was the pre-post favourite. He's back in the Brendan and Joe Lindsay colours, the yellow and black checks, about fifth last, one off the rail.
Just behind Demonetisation.
Yeah, on the inside of it was the grey Al King Sway. He finished up in 3rd. I thought it was one of the runs of the race. Demonetisation is midfield and 3 wide with cover though. The eventual winner, Deals and Heels, by virtue of her lovely barrier draw, got a gun run in transit by Matt Cameron. And coming towards her home turn, you'll see Matt just move away from the rail there in those yellow colours and is in a challenging position turning for home. So, she was desperately unlucky a week ago at Hawke's Bay, Deals and Heels. Demonetisation to her outside. And look at the grey in behind them, Al King Sway, who got into a bit of cramped quarters at about the 800 metres.
He was
run
on
really
his ground
nicely.
early too, wasn't he? So was Ringo out wide on the track. It looked like Maddie Cameron knew where Demonetisation was around the corner too, Hayden.
I think he was. I think he exactly knew where he was in the running the whole way, being just outside of him. I was just looking just then, if Maddie had sat for a couple more seconds, he'd have got the rails running on the inside really easy. But in that point of turn, you've got to put yourself in a winning position, and he's come out and done that.
Especially when you, I suppose, had an economical run in transit as well, and you're on a horse that appreciated the dig in the track yesterday. I thought that track at Matamata played really well for a slow 8 track, and with 17 mils of rain overnight, it played a lot better than what I anticipated.
Got better as the day went on. What did we make of Sheriff?
He'll keep.
A bit more ground?
He'll keep. There was an element of doubt yesterday as whether or not he would handle that track conditions. I think he did, although when you have a look at the replay again, on the home turn, Danielle Johnson, his rider, is really asking the horse to produce. He took a long time to wind up.
Keep going though,
but he finished off really nice. He's a good horse in the making.
A lot of talk before the race, Hayden, about Demonetisation having his first go left-handed. As a rider, are you conscious of those things, and how do you get a horse on the right leg?
As a rider, I'm not conscious of it myself, but yes, there are certain horses that will only go one way around. He showed yesterday he's probably adaptable to both sides.
And so wide in the running, he obviously didn't panic, but that was probably a good place to be in hindsight, just off the rail.
It could have been, but as we just said, Maddie gave his horse a dream run, and even if he had got the rails run, at the end of the day, Deals and Heels was
and deserving for her. She got that. She's been hunting for that black type win, and she got the Group 3 job done yesterday. So
Mention has to be made of the owner breeder of Deals and Heels, Mrs. Evans. She's had a wonderful run with her horses over a number of seasons now in those familiar colours. We see them winning races left, right and centre, and all types of races as well too. So it's a wonderful breed, and they've been breeding from the breed for many, many years. So yeah, it's good to see that success continue.
So we put a tick next to Demonetisation going forward, and certainly don't put a cross next to Sheriff going forward. And Deals and Heels has got her job done. The 3-year-old stakes race, earlier in the day, it was emerging youngsters trying to map their early part of the season, and in terms of the winner, I think it's probably what's Frank Ritchie going to leave out, Dawn Patrol. Just get your comments on this early on, Hayden. Obviously, post-match, we'll hear the interview shortly. Frank wanted to take a bit of cover with this horse, but the trouble is, as you can see, Opie out wide on the horse with the white blaze, is he's jumped first, but he's obviously got Frank's instructions ringing in the back of his head because he dragged it quite a fair way back in the end.
Yeah, definitely. When I was watching the race live, I was thinking to myself, what are you doing, Opie? He's giving away so much ground. He could have just easily cruised to the rails and just given it a soft enough lead.
So again, in a situation like that, you've got the trainer's instructions ringing in your ears. You jump first. I mean, in hindsight, it looks like that Opie could have just cruised to the front and run away from them.
Oh, it could have looked like he'd done it easily, yeah. But like I just said, afterwards, knowing what Frank's instructions were, he would have been in two minds, what do I do? And that's first port of call is try and ride to instructions, and let's hope it works out. he got caught 3 deep, luckily, with cover. Could have gone worse than no cover, but at the end of the day, I think it's just way too good.
Have a look at this horse's acceleration here, right on the home turn. When Opie says go, he puts 2 or 3 lengths on them, just like that. And I think it caught Opie by surprise. I know he was quite taken by the
He's probably
performance.
thank God for that. Let's rewind the trip, thank God.
But I'm sure the trainer's instruction pre-race was, he's probably going to jump out first, but I don't want you to lead. Try and get some cover. And to try and teach the horse something. I mean, you know, he's one of the best in the business, if not the best, Opie. So he had the choice, and things worked out nicely for the horse.
They did, but I think, like I said, the horse is good enough. He can overcome those problems, and what I seen yesterday was a very good horse.
Yeah, that second filly was quite good too. Again, that's the second rip 'em up, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, she looks like 1,600 metres plus will suit her down.
That's right. Yeah, she gave that impression on debut too when she ran second at Avondale. Finished on really strongly and behind Bit Lippy, who was one of Mrs. Evans' horses as well.
Yeah, got a bit loose around the corner out wide, rip 'em up. She looked to be running into it, but then she sort of, you know, left a 2 or 3 horse gap around the corner. Is that just inexperience, I suppose?
Inexperience.
And Matamata can do that to some horses, yeah.
But he's a nice horse, that winner.
Yeah.
He's a very, very nice horse.
Yes, well, Frank, as we said, Frank Ritchie probably having to consider what to leave out with a horse of such natural ability, and he was caught up with after the race, obviously quite excited.
It was a step up, and he's still got a few things to learn, and it was a bit of a worry, and nobody's done the job, and that's great.
Yep, jumped well. Opie was pretty keen to be able to not sort of be up front. He was able to give the horse, you know, try and pull back and find some cover somewhere.
We talked about it, and I said I'd like to see him get a bit of cover because, as I say, he can be aggressive, and he's out in the open. Sometimes he wants to go a bit hard. So, of course, he does fly the gate, which is not a bad thing. But he managed to get him back. He was 3 wide, but as George said, with cover, that counted. But boy, when he wants to sprint, he can sprint. That's the key to him being a pretty good horse.
That's right, yeah, because Opie clicked him up and he put a quick margin on the point of the bend, and that was when it was race over from that point.
That's right. You know, you don't see a lot of horses do that. When you're racing, it's pretty smart horses, but it's obviously a key element to a good horse.
Okay, we spoke after the maiden win, Frank. 2,000 guineas. Is it still on the radar, or are you still more looking towards a summer program with this horse?
Look, I was worried about the trip home from Riccarton, you know, coming back by road after the race. Takes a bit of the horse, you're a month off. He's nominated for the Karaka Million, the 3-year-old. So, you know, we'll have a think about it, and we'll work it out. But, yeah, he's only still so to go there.